Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I made some delicious golden apple sour. That's right, I did not use the usual mangoes. I made this sour with golden apples that I had on hand, and I needed something delicious to eat and dip inside of it. So today I'm going to be sharing my delicious, soft and fluffy Bara recipe. So let's get into it. So the first thing that we need to do is start off by making our dough. So in a large bowl, I'm going to be going in with my all-purpose flour. On top of the all-purpose flour, we're going to be going in with our split peas powder or grind dhal. Now I wanted to mention that this Bara recipe is slightly different from my usual Bara recipe because I'm adding in a little bit more of the split peas powder. What this is going to do is it's going to make it a little more crunchy on the outside, and it also has a little bit of a denser texture on the inside, and it sucks up less oil than the normal version. So go ahead and try this out and see if it works better for you. I'm also going to be going in with some baking powder, and I'm going to add in my yeast. This is going to give it that stretchiness and the fluffiness. At this point, I'm also going to be adding in my ground turmeric or dye, and I'm going to be going in with some roasted ground cumin or geera. All of the usual classic suspects you would see in a Bara. I'm going to have everything listed in the description box right below the video so you can check everything out when you're putting this recipe together. We're also going to go in with some salt to taste, and I'm also going to be adding in a little bit of all-purpose seasoning or adobo. This part is totally optional, but I like to add it in. I'm also going to be adding in a couple pieces of chopped scallions that I had on hand, and I'm also going to be going in with some blended up seasoning. So in this seasoning mix, I have lots of culantro. That is optional, but I like the taste that it adds, and of course lots of garlic and hot pepper to make sure that flavor comes through in our Bara. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and add in some water a little bit at a time. Now, in order to make sure that the yeast activates and you get a soft and fluffy Bara, you have to make sure you're adding in warm water. If you add in cold water, it will not activate and you will not get a fluffy product. I also wanted to mention today that the more water you add into your Bara, you might think that you're making a softer Bara product. However, the looser the dough is, it's going to be sucking up more oil. So you want to mix this more on the stiffer side. You want it to be slightly sticky, but you still want it to be holding together pretty well. At this point, I'm also going to be going in with some freshly chopped spinach or bhaji. If you only had frozen spinach on hand, of course, you can use that as well. Now, once you get all of those ingredients mixed in very well, you're going to scrape down the sides of the bowl, get all of the extra dough off of your fingers, and you're going to go ahead and let this rest for about an hour or two, or until it starts to get slightly puffy and fluffy. Now, I did not beat this Bara here. This recipe did not require me to do it. Follow along with all the ingredients and measurements, and trust me, you're going to get a soft and fluffy product in the end. So my Bara dough was sitting for about 2 hours, and as you all can see, it softened up a little bit and it started to get slightly fluffy. So at this point, I had some oil preheating on a medium to medium-high heat. Make sure it's regulated so they cook through on the inside. And what I'm doing is I'm dipping my hand in a little bowl of some excess oil. I'm going to go ahead and grab up a scoop of my Bara, make it into a ball, and put a little hole in the middle. The hole is optional, however, we fry it like this in my family because it ensures that the Bara is going to be cooked through in the middle. Whenever you don't do it with the hole, it tends to have to cook for a longer amount of time, and it also gives it more chance to suck up more oil, so you want to avoid that. And you can make these Baras as big or as small as you want. There's some people that like to have them bite-sized, and there's some people like us that like to make them just slightly larger. And all I'm going to continue doing is filling up my pan with the rest of my Bara. And what I like to do is I like to put in a set, then I will go and wipe down my hands, and then I'll start to flip. This is the importance of having the oil regulated on a medium to medium-high heat, because if it's too high, they're going to burn very quickly. And if it's too low, it's just going to suck up too much oil. So make sure you regulate it and allow it to bubble up nicely when you add that Bara in. You can also see that I'm not having much trouble flattening out and putting the hole in the middle of my Bara. The reason for that is because I'm using the oil on my hand to make sure nothing sticks, but also because I didn't make the Bara dough super soft. When you mix the Bara dough too soft and loose, what happens is you don't have a good grasp on the dough and you can't form it as you need to. And that's what happens when you see that the Bara is all kinds of different shapes. Of course, that works for some people, but I like my Bara this way. You're going to know that the Bara is ready to flip after the bubbles start to subside slightly, and you're going to see that the edges of the Bara start to get a golden brown color. That same golden brown color that you're seeing here in the pan is the perfect color that you want. So my Baras have been cooking for about 2 to 3 minutes at this point, and they have the perfect light golden brown color. If you want them darker, fry them for longer, but this right here is perfect for me, and I know for sure that they're cooked in the middle. You want to go ahead and drain these very well with a slotted spoon and transfer them to a bowl that you've lined with some paper towels just to ensure that any of that excess oil is soaked up. And once you get the first batch of bara out of the oil, you're going to go ahead and continue the frying process until you've finished frying all of the dough. Now, usually this is a two-person job. You have one person throwing the bara into the oil, and then you'll have one person turning. But I'm alone today, so like I said, regulate that heat, wipe your hands in between, and go ahead and flip them as you go, and you'll be fine on your own when you're doing this. And just like that, you are left with the softest, crispiest, and most flavorful bara ever. Make sure you follow this recipe for a foolproof bara, and if you're interested in seeing how I put together my golden apple sour, something different from the normal, then make sure you keep on watching and stay tuned to my channel, because in the next coming days, I'll be sharing that recipe with you all. So I hope you all enjoyed. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet. Give this video a nice big thumbs up and drop those comments down below. Let me know what you guys would like to see next on my channel, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye everyone.